What is going on, everybody, and welcome back for some more UPL Valorant. I'm Sepulins, joined by the handsome and wonderful Jag to bring you some pretty, what we hope to be top-tier content coming out here today. We have got two powerhouse teams, but before we jump into that, let's reel it back a little bit. Jag, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great. It's great to be back on the EPL desk. I know you had a really fun weekend in Nebraska at the LAN event. They had some great Valorant action there, but got to bring it back to the UPL. It's a great time this season. It's been really fun here in the FAMT division. And as you said, two powerhouses going head to head. It's UC Davis, the 4-0 squad that's currently number one against UGK, who's 3-1. But even though UGK has a pretty good record, I don't know if they're going to be up to the task tonight of taking on UC Davis.
It's going to be tough, right? And that feels almost generous. UC Davis, they haven't not only gone 4-0, they have not dropped a map. They have gone completely undefeated up to this point. And we've seen from the Underground Kings. We saw them up against the Striking Vipers in what I think was a 2-1 series. We've seen them really bring down to the line. But like you said, this is UC Davis. This is the top dog. This is going to be a very difficult matchup. And I can bring on something a little bit, maybe unconventional, perhaps. Maybe they're going to try to catch UC Davis a little bit with their guard down here.
Yeah, UGK, as you said, we saw them against Striking Vipers in week 3, and that was a 2-1 match, like you said, and that was actually a reverse sweep. They lost that first match, which was Icebox, I think 14-12, so went all the way to overtime. And then the rest of the game, they were in control for most of it. But last
Yeah.
week, off screen, they took on OC Esports, and they got 0-2 by them. And OC Esports got 0-2 earlier in the season by UC Davis. So using, some properties here, some mathematics, which we've already established, not very good. That does not calculate good results for UGK, but you never know how things are, especially if we do see Kaio in the mix today. You and I
Yeah.
are very high on that character, but as we have seen, he has played a lot in the UPL. And that might just because he's only good when you're really, an expert at him. And these teams just have maybe didn't have enough time to prepare using him so far in the regular season. Because remember, this is the last week of the regular season right now.
Right. Absolutely. This is the final week. This is down to the wire. And you talked about Icebox might be the best map for the Underground King, but luckily enough, we're not going to be seeing Icebox today. If I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head, I believe it is Ascent and then into Haven into Bind, or maybe vice versa. So Ascent, Bind, Haven. You have to forgive me on that. But either way, Icebox off the table. We're going to be starting with map. Everybody knows that. We'll put in quotes, but we all certainly know it. It's going to be Ascent here in just a minute, but I want to ask about KO coming out, like you mentioned. We talked about this during the or before the broadcast. I've seen him a couple of times, but those teams never really got the opportunity to play him really in a strong sense. Those teams ended up kind of falling short. A lot of 13-3s, 13-4s with KO alive. So do you think the character has anything to do with that? Or do you think maybe those teams just weren't able to find their stride with him quite yet?
I think really it's how do you use him in a meta like this? Like where is his fit? And Valorant's a very map specific game. You can have characters that do very well on one map and then they can completely bomb on the next one. So where is KO really good? And I think his best map, at least for the time being, might be Breeze, and that might be a hot take. I'm not sure. I think he is best when you're able to just use your abilities right out of spawn. You throw your abilities straight into the enemy spawn. You're able to silence them early on. That's where you find a lot of early advantage. But it's a map more like Ascent, where maybe you aren't exactly sure because there are a few possibilities, especially mid. You'd always go for a mid push if you're the attacker
Yes.
or the defender. There's not as much decision making involved that you're going to be doing a lot more risk taking and chance taking. So in that case, you just don't want to throw KO in there. But we'll see who is chosen right now in this first map selection and this first agent selection.
Yeah, the
And
first
I think I've kind of cursed myself because Esperanto's already locked KO in.
all I've got to say is I'm glad we talked about him for as long as we did because he immediately made an appearance, and that really gets to hone in on a lot of the things we were already worried about. Is this team going to fall a little bit short? Are we maybe going to see a little bit of lackluster ability coming out, or is Esperanto going to be, at least for me, the first KO to really make a statement?
It's interesting because you're basically putting KO in place of another duelist because as you see,
Yes.
he maybe takes the Sova role instead, but as you see, Various has committed to the Sova themselves. So it's like KO going to be trying to do a lot more damage, which can do. His kit is very good. He does have nades. He does his area of effect, and he also has a resurrection. I mean, he can be brought back to life basically on his own reconnaissance. So there's a lot of really good things in his kit. On the other side, they will be going for that double duel set with Reyna, who I think excels on Ascent. She's got really good sight lines for her Leers, but I'm very interested by the Sky pick. I mean, she does have good flashes and she can do healing for the rest of the team, but she can't heal herself, which is why you really like a Sage in this scenario.
Absolutely, you definitely want to Sage in this scenario, but looks like we're not going to be seeing any of that. Instead, the Sky is a unique choice. I'm a huge fan of Sage's wall. I think that's part of the reason she's such a viable character, and you can really make it to force a team kind of into your own frame of reference and force them to adapt to you rather than vice versa. But like here, you do get to utilize those flashes a lot. The Seekers in particular, that ultimate could make a massive difference, but only in a single round. So it's going to be a bit of a coin flip here. Is Sky going to be better than Sage?
I think that's a question that we're gonna have answered. I think she'll be better for entry. I don't
Sure.
think she'll be as good for defending because again, she does have great flashes. I mean, her guiding light and her trailblazer can both be great distractions. Her seekers can help find out enemies, but the wall, as we talked about, could be very good if you're a defender. But that isn't going to be what's happening. As right now, we're going to see if UGK can make any progress here on the first attack. It looks like they're going to be going to A, and yep, that's exactly why you want KO right there. Presence detected. They're silenced for a few seconds. They can't make a move just yet.
Yeah, I mean, what an absolutely great way to start off. You get a lot of information on where people are going to be. You're going to see them early on. And now look at UGK. You know, they're going to go to try the tree. They're going to try to break through here. Their location's already been given up. Oh, it's going to be Nick with that first elimination on the Seekers. Straight to the feet for Famine gone. Looks like Sky not far behind. And Esperanto will be taken out before that. KO really just be used, but Davis' time to shine as they come through with a 4-0 victory.
Nick gets 3 at the end of it. Good to get your Omen teleport ultimate up early. Again, the power of KO right there. He's able to use the flash, no, not the flash, 0 point very early on. Able to basically shut down UGK's chance of going for a quick A push. They get nothing. They get completely mauled apart. And victory with the spoils as UC Davis. And a very nice buy here on round 2. A lot of Spectres. We are going to be seeing that sniper rifle coming out. Not the operator, but the Marshal. But we know this jet from UC Davis can do wonders with it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, jet and sniper rifles, I say it every time. Super great combination, super great back and forth there. And it looks like JoJo is not going to be vying or choosing one quite yet, but you know, one jet with a classic, one jet with a Marshal, that is going to be quite the difference at the end of the day. But the Marshal is not what we're worried about yet, as Nick with the Spectre will be able to find the kill onto Sova. So the information gainer on the side of UGK immediately off the table.
And what do you do right now if you're GK? I mean, last round you get shit down early on, you get found out, and then you don't really have a way to get in. You don't go for the counter rotation, instead you keep pushing ahead. Now you've split up your entire attack. You could try to go for mid control, but C16 is there with that Marshal, so it's really deadly. I think at this case you've kind of committed to where you're at, so either you go and try to push through tree, or you go back to B.
Oh, and there's C16 with a phenomenal shot. Esperanto not far behind, misses the no-scope a couple of times there. It looks like Lost Blazer isn't going to be able to get close enough in time. They go for the knife, and are they going to find it? It's a 2v1, and there it is! Various with the knife kill here in round 2, putting UC Davis up 2-0.
I mean, you're just playing with your food at that
Oh, absolutely.
And I think the big mistake there is I think that UGK, because they got 0 pointed on the round before, they didn't want to go as aggressively. They wanted to play it a bit slower, so they didn't just run onto a point. That's really all you can do when you know you're going to be at a gun disadvantage. You know you can't buy. You know that the other team's going to buy. So you might as well try to take some people out with you on the way. Instead, they only get one. They've only gotten one each round. Now they can buy. So this is maybe where they can make a bit of a comeback, but looking at Squid, and I'm not sure if they bought in time.
Yeah, I wasn't able to catch it. You said it, and I was looking at the exact same thing. I'm not sure Squid just bought anything. We're going to have to... Okay, looks like it might not matter here. C16 cracks the fight open, JoJo the first down, but it's these quick scopes, these no-scopes that C16 just cannot land. Squid did get a weapon online, luckily enough. Was able to find that Phantom there. Secret, speaking of Esperanto as well. This is the first time in a long time UGK has had the numbers advantage.
And it is a bit of a good differential, but also a bit of an overextension there by C16.
Yeah.
They went for the dash, and I think they thought they could get right through choke there. Instead, they end up hitting a wall, and unfortunately, that smoke from Omen is not going to save them long enough. But it's not unwinnable right now for UC Davis, but it's going to be a very difficult 3v4.
Oh, okay. Maybe
not
not
so
as
much
difficult. Maybe not as difficult as Various finds a kill straight away with the Spectre in the blink of an eye there. I want to see, is this UGK's time to shine? But there's Nick with one turn to their back. Gonna get taken out by Secrets. Never turn your back that quickly, folks. Make sure nobody else is coming around the corner. But we always say check your corners. That was kind of an opposite of the scenario there, but checking corners. Now, 2v2. Sova here might be a huge advantage for UC Davis.
I was really intrigued there that Secrets didn't go for the orb, and they are going to plant, so they are going to get their Empress online. They could try to commit it here, and they are.
Player standing.
There's just some free credits, which is going to be great here. They get the spike online, a 1v1 Smurfsicles versus Secrets. Secrets looking for the almost ace, but not quite. Might be able to find a 4K. Smurfsicles looking the wrong way, but still with a phenomenal flick. Able to take Secrets offline, and the spike defuse more than enough time on the clock.
That's a big commitment there. Use the first ultimate you get online and a round that you still lose. That was supposed to be the bonus round for UGK. Still aren't able to come up. UC Davis winning 3 in a row. And the biggest thing there for Secrets was not their positioning. They actually were able to out-rotate Smurfsicles there. I mean, Smurfsicles, as you said, they were caught not looking. Still won the fight because Secrets only had 9 ammo in their gun when they took that last engagement. And they fired it all away, weren't able to reload, and that's why we have the scoreline we have now. And look at Nick right now, 6-1. Wow, what a performance from this Omen early on.
Yeah, a performance indeed. They're 6-1, a great startup, and I always talk about Omen's ultimate. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan, but with the way Nick's already been playing, I think the ultimate's not really going to be the focus of picking Omen here.
I mean, you always want to pick Omen, right? He's basically been like the go-to pick for as long as I can remember, just because he's got really good smokes, he's got the paranoia, he's got a teleport that can help turn things around, but you can't turn your guy going down around, not like that.
Yeah, certainly not going to be a good start, especially when your healer is the first one taken offline. That is not a great way to start things up, but now it's going to be that 4v5, UC Davis, C16. Honestly, not the cleanest performance so far. We're only a couple of rounds in, maybe getting warmed up just a wee bit, but buying an operator so early here on round 4, it's a dangerous thing, but JoJo, rocking my favorite weapon of the game, finds 1 kill with the shorty, and UGK might be able to clean up off the back of the C16 with the classic. Will find lost there. Things tied up at 2-2, if I'm not mistaken, the same 2-2, or no, excuse me, it was not the Jet last time.
But it was the Killjoy. The Killjoy is the one who flushed things out. We'll see if they can do it again. C6 is so weak, so they're going to try to find instant shots here. If not, I mean, that's the thing about the operator. If you take your shots, you can instantly get kills, but right now, both of them are taking them. And now they've been found out by that arrow.
We always talk about Reyna being the beast character. I feel the operator is kind of the weapon equivalent of that. You spend so much for it, you're coming through, you're trying to get some aggression, but if you're not landing your shots, I mean, that's definitely not enough to buy such an aggressive weapon. C16 not taking a shot there, they're classic. It's going to come down to a 10 health Jet, a dream. If this is a kill, this is going to be a clip I've never seen.
No,
it's the save.
Wall area. Because that makes sense. You don't give up the operator, you just spend your entire bank on it, all of your credits. So at this point, just take the L for the round. It's the round, you're kind of straight out for the this is round more 50-50. So although it's a thrift here for UGK, it's not the worst scenario for UGK, but it's great for UGK because now as you can see, JoJo looks like they're going to buy an operator of their own. And Sedulance, this is what I love about Ascent. It's that mid has a great sight line, so you can instantly see those battles at the beginning of a round.
Yeah, and we've got to point out, of course, that C16 does get to hold on to that operator. That's what saving is all about. You hold on to that weapon. So now it is going to be Jet v Jet, Op v Op, and absolutely no money in the bank for everybody except for Secrets here. This is going to be quite the interesting round. This is really going to set the economy a little bit moving forward.
It is. If UC Davis loses, this is where things could get really hectic. They're only going to be 1 round up. They're also not going to have an economy anymore. UGK, I mean, if they lose this, their losing streak of rounds really will go back to business because that was kind of a gift that was given to them on a golden platter last time. That was a round they shouldn't have won, and they lost the round they should have won. So for momentum's sake, this is very important for them.
Absolutely, we talked about, this could be an absolute sweep, but this could take us into overtime. But UC Davis, they started off strong. They were able to find 3 rounds in a row. But if UGK, like you said, they find this one, that's only a 1-round difference. Easily comebackable. I want to see what comes through here. UGK, this is truly their time to shine. This is, like you said, this is where the momentum can flip. But Nick, won't find that first Elim. Instead, Smurfsicles finds 2, tying things up. JoJo will be able to pick up Smurfsicles off the back of it, and the 3v3 comes through. They're getting a little bit predictable with that spike location, though, I've got to say.
Looks like they have been silenced for just a moment. As you see, JoJo played this really smartly. Ran up with the operator, which I thought was a bit of a misplay, but I'm gonna wait for that point until after this fight finishes.
Absolutely. JoJo comes through, and whoa, UGK coming alive at the end of the fight. I don't even get out 5 words before they've decided if they can win it. And now, we talked about this already, that could be a pivotal moment. UGK could really start to run away here.
And I think it was just so clutch how JoJo played that.
Yes,
absolutely. Not caught up in how that fight ended up going, but basically, they ran over the operator. I was like, man, that is very close quarters for an operator usage. You really want to take your sight lines, really want to play as far back as possible to have the least amount of risk. But the way they did is after they got that initial pick, they were just rotating between that and the Phantom. And they had it right on the ground next to them. Take a shot, doesn't hit it, goes right to the Phantom, has that full auto gun right by them, and it really helps them secure that round.
Yeah, I think like you said, I mean, yeah, really helps them secure the round there. And it looks like C16 relying on a frenzy. This is gonna have to be a short buy round from UC Davis. They're gonna have to win it thrifty, and that is, I mean, that's difficult. That's tough, obviously. And C16 up against Secrets, Phantom versus Frenzy, and oh, C16's just gonna be able to make it back around the corner.
Gets caught out though by the silver arrow, so they know where a few people are. One thing to note though is that it's actually UGK who's taking a bit more damage, but that sky healing has come in, so the regrowth has
Yeah,
been used at least on JoJo, I believe. So now they've got a little bit more healing. They're playing this really safe considering how much better their guns are right now. I'm a bit surprised. Again, it might be that Kaio that they know exists. Maybe it's the pressure from the Kaio's abilities that kind of keeps them playing a little bit more safe. But I
sure.
feel like right now you're down to a minute. You still have a pretty good alt bank. I would say maybe just go for B. You've played the entire game on A, and it looks like that's exactly what they're going to be doing with this rotation.
I mean, as foolish as this sounds, maybe they don't realize it's a thrifty round yet. Maybe they haven't noticed. Like, I'm not sure what kind of the game plan is here, but I think you've hit the nail right on the head. It's going to be rotating in toward B, and I think it's about to be an absolute bloodbath here, except for the fact that the 5v2 for the time being. Smurfsicle's turret able to find Squid, not something you see in the kill feed very often, but UGK going to fall short early on, and oh, the judge to the face. Lost will fall. Secrets picks up C16 for the trade. Leica finding another one at Esperanto with a headshot. Sheriff kill onto Secrets. Oh, JoJo's operator comes back to life once again, and Smurfsicle will fall. Oh, JoJo finds a second kill onto Esperanto. Nick, a Sheriff and a Dream here up against a very low health Jet. This is going to be the time to shine.
This will be one shot, one kill.
Oh!
Here, Nick hits it! Nick hits the flick with the sidearm. What
Wow.
a great play there with the Sheriff. It just seems like both of these teams are winning the rounds they should lose, and vice
weird.
versa. It is
Yeah.
weird. We've now seen 2 thrifty rounds and only 6 rounds total. These teams have come to play today, Septulence, and talk about momentum. Now UC Davis, they've got a little bit back on their side, and even though they had the thrifty round last time, now their economy is looking nice and clean. They might even be able to pick up some guns for free. I'm not sure if C16 bought that out of their own credits, but my guess is that they probably picked it up off the ground from JoJo.
Yeah, that's my guess as well. I think that's kind of the. It makes sense, or excuse me, it doesn't make sense not to. You want to pick that operator up. You want to get aggressive with it. And it's a very expensive weapon, but JoJo missing that opportunity. I mean, that was just. I don't want to say like a single player choked, right? But JoJo missing that operator shot is the reason they ended up losing that round. You had a close quarters opportunity, and now JoJo's going to try to make up for that slack by committing Blade Storm, and oh, just being dismissed by Esperanto. They're completely deleted. Almost able to find the kill, but not quite coming through yet. UC Davis now up 5-4 with 3 ultimates online.
And a big assist right there to Smurfsicle's turret. I mean, that turret basically caught JoJo off guard, still trying to run through it, but that turret lets through where you are, so that Blade Storm becoming very ineffective, even if you try to dash through.
Yeah, the Blade Storm, like you said, ineffective indeed. Now it's going to be on the shoulders of UC Davis's player to bring that Blade Storm to life, because I want to see a successful one if we're able to see that, because Blade Storms, I feel, very hit or miss. It's not quite in the sense of feast or famine Reina, but quite literally hit or miss. If you miss, you lose the ult, and you don't really do anything with it. But now, UC Davis, they've got the lockdown, they've got the Hunter's Fury, which could be great to prevent a spike coming through. Esperanto on the far corner, going to be taken out by Secrets, as Leica in simultaneous will fall to Nick.
What's wild with that is that they were actually hit there, still by the ability falls, but now Varus might be able to find a few hits too.
Few two indeed. They're able to find a back kill. 16 with the operator lost will fall, and UC Davis have now found themselves a 3-point lead. If they can win Ascent, they will only need one more to take it, but winning Ascent is still 8 rounds away, which could be a very long time from now.
Only 1 round away from getting at least a draw at worst, which is, kind of the scenario you want. This is a defensive-sided map, like almost all the maps in the Valorant pool, except for Haven, but that's not something we're going to have to talk about for a little bit anyway. I think the thing for UC Davis right now is look at the ball that they built up. Because right now, guns are even. There is a buy right now for UGK. They can finally go for those full auto weapons. But there's 4 ultimates on their side. And I would say maybe better ones than what UGK has. I mean, sure, you have the Empress. Sure, you have the Omen Teleport. Sure, you've got the Empress. But there's the Empress going to be popped. We saw what happened last time, though. It cost rounds.
Oh, there's nowhere to run. No way there's no kills off the back of this. Are you kidding? Wow, I thought that was guaranteed Hunter's Fury kill, but no. Secret somehow lived just long enough to meet the bullet from Esperanto's chamber there. UC Davis gonna have things tied up 4-4. They commit the Hunter's Fury, find no kills, still 3 ultimates left in the bank, excuse me. They're up by 3 rounds. They lose this one, it's not the end of the world, but like you said, they want at least 4 to guarantee a lead at halftime.
Here's the thing, that Hunter's Fury didn't get any kills, but it did do some good chip damage onto 3 members of UGK. And now their Sky, their healer, is very weak. So Leica now has to play much safer going forward. And Leica's also the one carrying the spike, so they end up falling. This could be very
Huh.
disastrous for them.
Yeah, and Nick going for a backline TP. No way this works out. I would love to see a great play coming out, but it looks like the teleport didn't land in the exact location. They may have misread the push from UGK, or perhaps Nick was just trying to get from one side of the map to the other fast enough. Leica will find the plant, so this guy might have an opportunity to, well, I don't say an opportunity to die, but now it matters just a little bit less if that Sky does fall. Things still tied up 4-4, but just barely, as Leica is a flick in the ribs from death. C16 goes for the wall bang, not quite able to find it. Various and lost. Gonna get traded out, and the Blade Storm from C16, very aggressive as Smurfsicles is just raining terror. Jojo able to find the kill. C16 not even one, but a shorty from above will find Jojo in the dome here. A 2v0 in favor of UC Davis. This is a guaranteed round win. Worst case scenario, they're tied at the half.
Smurfsicles played that beautifully. We didn't get to see their POV of it, but as the Killjoy, they used the lockdown. And why do you use that? Because you know that there's Hunter's Fury on the other side. You know they're going to be drawn to destroying the lockdown. In the meantime, just get 2 kills. Let your team clean up the rest. They end up falling, but they got 2 very important eliminations near the very end. Still 2 people alive on their team, and UC Davis now has that sweet 6 map score. I was going to say sweet 16, but that doesn't really work there. But 4 map lead, and will at least have a tie going forward, and their economy's still nice, so there's a very good chance they could take a definite lead, at least a 7-5. But again, we have seen some pretty crazy thrifty rounds thus far.
Yeah, we really truly have, and I just want to see UC Davis. Is this going to be a 7-5? Is this going to be, what would it be, 10-2, 11-2? So this is going to be unique, to say the least.
Yeah, I think 10-2 is the best right now that UC Davis could get. And here's the thing: if they keep winning, like, it's just the economy from UGK is never going to recover. They're never going to have a real chance to get back into at least this side of the field while they're still on attack. But if they win one here, get a big thrifty, then maybe they're back in the running for at least 7-5, 8-4, which isn't the worst score, really. I think it's 9-3. That's where things get really disastrous, because then if UC Davis wins the pistol round and the bonus round, they're only 2 away.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're spot on. 9-3 is when and 9-3 or lower is the disastrous area, and it looks like we're going to have at least 7-2 for the time being, as Esperanto finds a 2-for-1 trade. Any team will take that any day of the week. 4v3 here in favor of UC Davis. This is going to be a good moment for them, but UGK, the spike carrier, again, what is that, 2 rounds in a row? That the spike carrier is critical condition.
Also, they had the Sky Ultimate, they had the Seekers, but that's not going to be long for this round. Maybe if you're able to get a kill. Remember, Reyna's changes now. As long as she gets an assist, she can get an orb that heals her back up. She doesn't have to get the final blow anymore. But it's very risky. That low health, now you have lost your own 4v2.
4v2 losing the Omen going to be difficult. No teleports available, no paranoia. So moving for none of the Hunter's Fury or the Empress to commit. Smurfsicles just picks up 1, picks up 2. Blink and Davis, they take their 7th point.
Smurfsicles has been playing this Killjoy the best way that you can play her. Using those abilities, like, really smartly, being able to set up traps, but not relying on them to finish up kills. Really has just focusing as well on good gameplay and good gunplay, which is funny considering that last time we kind of let the Phantom kind of run wild. It was all over the place. I'm not sure how they got the final blow there, regardless. Held on the point all by themselves. Kill rounds back to back. And you see this here that we talked about now. This is where it's really pivotal for UGK. They need to win this round, as we said, because otherwise they're just going to fall so far out of their favor that it might not be possible to regain any sort of lead, even when they're defending.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to talk about the fact, recently at that LAN that we mentioned at the beginning, one of the teams that had won, we talked about, they truly may have won due to the mechanical skill rather than usage of abilities, right? And I think we're seeing that a lot from this Killjoy, from Smurfsicles, is the mechanical skill alone, without the abilities online, has been very impressive up to this point.
Has been, but can they keep it going? I mean, this is only one map, like we said.
Right.
This is a first to 2 best of 3 series, so UC Davis will still have to win the next one. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this was their map pick. No, it actually was not. This was actually UGK's pick, so this is the map they chose. But I feel like this is a trend in Valorant. Whatever map you choose, you almost always lose. That's been my experience covering it.
Maybe that's the pro gamer strat. Maybe that's the strat we haven't yet realized. You intentionally pick your worst map to force the enemy to let their guard down, and then maybe you come in and sweep maps 2 and 3. We've seen UGK do it before, but against teams that aren't necessarily as strong as what UC Davis brings to the table. So UC Davis winning Ascent here, I mean, it'll put UGK on the ropes. And speaking of UGK being on the ropes, I can't even finish the sentence before they are stuck in a 3v1 scenario.
It's not looking good right now. It looks like JoJo's probably gonna find themselves deader than alive. Unfortunately, my feed has frozen, so I think it might be catch up a little bit. One thing I was going to talk about while we're waiting for this to come through is that, I mean, UC Davis are the defending champions. That's something to remember, is that
Right.
they did win UPL Spring. And now that we have finally been caught back, it looks like JoJo's actually been able to plant the spike and turn a very winnable situation possible winnable.
Yeah, definitely a good chance. You've got an interesting opportunity. The spike is planted. Most EPs, you know exactly what they are, but I'm looking at a slideshow right now, unfortunately, so I'm not going to be able to give exact frame-by-frame coverage, but I did see that
Be
loud
nice.
and
Be
clear.
nice.
Come on, just the don't freeze. Please, Esperanto will fall. I'm going to this time. No, it jumps to a picture of Nick with JoJo on their knees, just feeded there, slain by Nick, and UC Davis takes their 8th point.
You gotta love those fishing animations. I love the gun sprays. Like, I mean, it's expensive. Let's not kid
True.
ourselves. But when you level up a gun completely and then you get to see that, it's beautiful. I love the Oni personally. It's my favorite one. I also am a pretty big fan of the Prime Bandit. I guess those are more OG ones back in the day. But regardless, UC Davis now, they have won the round they needed to, and it should be pretty easy street for there. This is almost another round that's guaranteed for them. UGK does have the Blaze Storm. We're going to see JoJo pop it really quickly, but we saw last time it basically just took a Killjoy turret to stop any momentum they had with that. So I'm wondering if they'll be able to do better this time around.
Yeah, and I also want to talk about right around this corner there, the Owl drone. I'm pretty sure it's the Sova. Oh, yeah, carrying an Ares right now. So that is certainly something to keep an eye on. Which one shoots faster, the Blade Storm or the Ares? I think we all know that answer. But Nicky got TP right into the Blade Storm, get caught out early on. Doesn't even get to turn around before catching a knife to the back of the dome. And now 5v4, UGK, they're coming through as quickly and aggressively as possible. Even one kill from UC Davis is going to make this tough to turn around again.
I noticed that UC Davis does this a lot. Even when they have an advantage in economy, they will always give up point. They'll always play for the retake.
Yeah.
They won't try to stop the plant, and that might be a mistake because now they're down 5-3.
And Smurfsicle's falling. That's pretty scary. Smurfsicle's, in my opinion, at least the most impressive player so far from UC Davis. But Various with the double kill. Not quite going to tie things up as Lost picks up 2 of their own. And Esperanto cannot save the day. A thrifty round win for UGK Esports.
That's the second one we've seen from them. The third one we've seen overall. Man, there's been so many thrifty rounds this game. But if we talk about that magic number, it was 8-4. That's like the best worst case scenario for UGK, and
yeah,
it's possible. I mean, they are able to not only get guns from that, but now they actually have an economy of their own, so they can buy. They get the operator for free. And C16, unfortunately, has not had their best game thus far. We talked about it a bit earlier. They've been a little bit misfiring. Those shots have not connected as much. And I think JoJo has been winning out those duels.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think JoJo has been, I don't want to say the star player, but certainly the most consistent in firefights. At least I think so, just on the side of UGK. But again, Smurfsicle's on the side of UC Davis. And I didn't get a great look at the leaderboard there as we were jumping right back into this next round. But next time I do want to take a look and see where they both fall on the leaderboard, because I can only assume they're toward the top of it.
Yeah, JoJo right now I think is at the top for UGK.
Yeah.
And right now C16 is actually at the bottom. Still positive. Still a positive KD at 6-5, but that's not really what you want as a duelist, really. I mean, everyone has good gunplay when you're playing at this high of a level, but it's really your duelists that you're relying on to get those really nice picks early on that help enable the rest of the team to take over a site. Or in this case, if you're UC Davis, defend it.
Yeah, but UC Davis, like you said, they haven't really gone for the defensive play style. They have gone for a lot of the retake. They give up point early on, and they're like, okay, now we'll pretend we're on the attack. And okay, C16 gonna get a bit defensive here, able to find a kill early on, and the spray and pray from JoJo with the shorty will take C16 offline.
Yeah, and when they just use all the abilities to take out C16, they do trade out their Sky, which again means no healing for them. And there's also nothing that can counter the lockdown this time. So UC Davis, this is the last round they can use this, as well as Kaio's ability to resurrect the null command. So they're going to probably just bust both of those out right now.
Yeah, I would expect so as well. I think just kind of putting those on the table might be helpful. With Various from the sky here with the Odin trying to find anything. Picks up one, is going to be able to find the kill. Esperanto will be back in just a couple of seconds, but Various going for a full-blown reset is going to get Esperanto up even earlier here. So the 3v2 in favor of UGK. Oh! The collateral from JoJo immediately makes this all the harder. That resurrection here from Esperanto may have just been completely useless as the 2v1. JoJo with the 4K will put UGK's 4th point online, and like we said, this is kind of their best case scenario here. Maybe 8-5 if they're lucky. They can really start to turn things around.
We'll have to see how it goes on this first round. Now that sides have swapped, UGK now will have the defense, and It worries me a little bit because I wouldn't really say they have any defensive agents on their side. Like maybe a Sova can work like
Sure.
that, you know, with your sonar arrow, scout people out, owl drone, maybe find people out again. But there's no traps. There's no abilities that really keep people out of sights like Surgicals on the Killjoy. So it might be a bit more difficult here for UGK to defend. But they have 2 rounds in a row, which is the most they've had thus far. It's actually so far they've only won with 2 rounds in a row. I'm looking at the scoreboard. So maybe we'll see them win 2 more here. 6-8. That's a very close game.
Oh, no doubt about that. And I mean, if they repeat the pattern of letting UC Davis win 5 rounds before they win 2 more, UC Davis just takes the map. So UGK, they are going to have to turn things around a little bit, but this is a full-blown reset, a bit of a coin flip here. JoJo does that embarrassing jet thing. They dash right into the wall, but it seems like it won't be hurting them too badly here as UGK, they're already up 5-3.
And that was just an amazing rotation. They go right
Yeah.
out of B spawn. They find 2, kind of going through mid, and now they can just kind of sit. They don't have to play aggressive anymore. They can just wait for someone to all in, and it looks like they're going to all in here on A.
All landing on A is something we've seen a couple of times, and Lost goes for the ult fire, misses the firefight, but Squid is going to get that vengeance kill. Various now with the 2, turns a 4v2 into a 3v2. Suddenly a lot more winnable for the Underground Kings, and it looks like the spike will come through early from Nick, but you've got to get a couple more eliminations to make sure that spike plant is worth it.
And I found everyone in heaven, so they know exactly where they're coming from.
Oh, there's one! No, the reload! You're gonna interrupt it. Secrets will fall. Various with 3. Is it gonna be Various with 4? And no, the reload twice interrupts the firefight there. And UGK's Secrets, Underground Kings, they're coming back from the underdog position here. Gonna bring things up to 8-5.
You gotta love there that Secret says, you know what, I'm gonna stop diffusing this just so I can get my spray out. It's a dabbing ping, but what more could you really want in a series like this? But there you see kind of the folly as well as advantage of UGK is that they can play very aggro, but when they have to
Right.
sit back and defend, they kind of fall apart because there's no ability to not only like stop someone from engaging, but they really don't have a re-engage, especially when they don't have their Omen online. I mean, you do have the Paranoia, you do have the Leer, you do have the Sky ability as well. You do have Guiding Light. So that's kind of what they try to use to re-enter. And there it didn't pan out, but they were still able to get the round one. But this is very interesting. UC Davis, even though they lost the round, they are buying. They are getting Spectres. So this is actually going to be a very even round gun-wise.
This is a commitment. UC Davis, they want to interrupt that momentum a little bit. They want to make sure that UGK doesn't start to run away with these wins. They want to make it a 9-5. Like we said, 8-6, that's close. That's very close. So UC Davis, they want to make it 9-5, 10-5. They don't want to let UGK find their footing any longer. And with a bit of a, I don't want to call it a bait rotation, but with a bit of an odd rotation here, we're going to see UC Davis coming through, a little bit of rotation toward B, and now rotating back toward mid. They seem a little uncertain.
They do, and this is something that we saw earlier from UGK, is that they didn't know what to do.
Oh, no.
Now, it seems like UC Davis is kind of doing the same thing where they've lost one early. Where do we go? Right now, it looks like UGK's Omen is just kind of playing with the turret. But they're going to try to go in, but that Leer expires so quickly.
Oh yeah, fires very quickly and expires quickly. Indeed. Speaking of fires quickly, like I meant to say, Esperanto, or like I didn't mean to say. My goodness, my tongue is all over the place today. But Nick is going to find Secrets with that Spectre here. Might be able to, no, will not. Yeah, the Spectre certainly does not fire the Ares in terms of fire rate and damage, I believe. So that was a tough fight to win. But here comes Esperanto. Oh, that's another collateral there. A 4K from Squid, not quite the ace, but I've got to say it. UGK, they have come back to life here on the second half of Ascent.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify my mistake there. That was not a Leer. That was, in fact, a flash drive there from Esperanto. And we've seen that this has happened a few times for Esperanto, where flash drive is an interesting one because you can actually charge it for it to last longer. So there they decided to like kind of throw it instantly, but they're not hiding behind a wall. I don't think they expect to be peaked that quickly. We've seen this happen 1 or 2 other times where they're just kind of caught without their gun in their hands, and at a level like this, you're instantly going to be downed.
Yeah, you're going to be down super quickly. We've seen a couple of rounds here where it's just 1, 2, 3 kills immediately coming through. And as I say, we're going to see 2 immediately, but this time it is not going to be 2 from the same team. 4v4 in favor of neither team at the moment, but we always say Valorant is a defender-sided game. So perhaps UGK does get a little bit of advantage here, but UGK, they certainly need all the advantage they can get.
And I just want to remind everyone what's at stake here. UC Davis not only has not dropped a series, they have yet to drop a map so far in UPL. So if UGK can pull this off, that's a huge moral win for you. UGK is already locked into playoffs. Both these teams are, because even if they go down to 3-2 and with Striking Vipers, they'll have the head-to-head victory over them, so they will be 1 space above them. If OC loses, then maybe they can get second, but it looks like for now they are basically locked into third no matter what
Yeah.
happens. But that would be a huge moral victory going into playoffs, especially if they have to face them again down the road.
Oh! Yeah, it looks like things might, like you said, this would be the huge win, not only, or actually would be a huge win for the ladder. You're kind of like into that for morale, to be the unbeatable. That would be, UGK it was I think it was a 4v2 1.9 set up at 2 Americans gonna be able to find plants for the critical condition, so they got 2v1 2. This Jet has the opportunity to get some kills, but they're pincer, they're caught between a rock and hard place here.
And Squid still does have the Hunter Sphere, try to use it from afar.
Yeah, the Hunters should really be unique here as the spikes should have been planted, but they may not need it to get through 21 health yet. And yeah, that's a pretty thing to do. The spike defuse will come through in just a moment, and UC Davis lose another round. We've gone from what I believe was a 5-round difference at one point to only 1 round separating these teams.
And the way that UGK played that was really risky, but because UC Davis already had a very weak member, C16, they could not really do anything about the pincer attack. Usually, if you see that the players are split, you'll just go after one of them and then try to finish the other one off. This time they could not do that because both of them took so much damage trying to set up the spike and then actually just kind of peeking after the spike had been planted. They just had to still hope that no one really approached them. Fortunately for them, UGK did approach them, took that fight and won it, but it did cost UGK a bit. As you see, a lot of their members are having to save. They only have 1 full assault, which is Vandal to their lowest player right now in their standings.
Yeah, perhaps not the best strategy in a first-person shooter to just stand there and hope someone comes to you, but, it's definitely going to be a little bit of fascinating round for UGK. They've reset the momentum here a little bit, but they've got to keep it moving. UC Davis can just put their bare hands away. I've seen them stop momentum before. C16 going to be the first way able to take out secrets early on. The arena will fall. The Hunter's Fury available on both sides, and I've seen that ultimate work wonders. I'm curious to see if either of them are going to make an appearance here in this round 16.
Attacker, you use it once the spike has already been planted. Or is it defend too, honestly, to maybe stop the spike from being planted? But that's only if you know exactly where it is.
Right.
You won't. There isn't, as much information that UGK can gather. They
don't.
C16, what was that?
Oh, C16 with a nasty, lucky shot. They're able to take, I think that was Leica fell on the other end of that bullet there. So a double kill from C16. That was just the power of UC Davis at its finest there.
I think they heard us. I mean, they heard us talking a little bit of smack there about how they're not playing at the performance we expect from this Jet player. That was exactly what we have been expecting from them all series long. They get the ace!
Whoa, the ace! Wait! Oh, C16 had to have heard us talking. I mean, that is just way to come back to life. What did I say? These players can catch a train at full speed with their bare hands, and C16 certainly just did so. 5K there in round 16. This is going to be possibly the start of something awful for UGK Esports.
And that was them just jumping up the leaderboard, not only on their own team, but in the lobby. Second on their own team, 4th overall now in this lobby. And that was a huge critical round win. It was when they were kind of destined to win just because, again, UGK, they had won the previous round, but they lost a lot of members and a lot of their credits. So they didn't have a great economy going into that, but just the momentum shift you have there when you've been a player that's kind of underperforming for a little bit, and then you're able to pull off a performance like that, it's beautiful.
Oh, speaking of beautiful, here comes Squid taking Smurfsicles offline. The Hunter's Fury there. 1 kill. I mean, not as many as you'd like, perhaps, but certainly worth it at the end of the day. Secrets putting a second one away. Esperanto is going to fall. And now 5v3 for UC Davis. We're going to be separated by a single round once again. Oh, maybe.
It looks like it. I mean, it's a 5v2 right now. Yeah,
no, never mind.
No other ace. At this point, if you're UC Davis, just maybe you find an exit frag, but you don't want to use your ultimates. You saw there were 3 online. They didn't use any of them there, which isn't the worst thing in the world there, but I think the biggest thing for UGK is that they didn't have their Reign of Fall. Secret stayed alive and didn't use the Empress, which is huge.
It was huge indeed. I want to see an ace so bad. I know it's so unlikely, but
just
have a
back-to-back. Come on.
I want another one. I'm greedy. I can't help it. I want to see another ace come through, but to see 2 back-to-back, that'd be a first for me. So that would certainly be interesting. But Nick here, 75 health, no ultimate available, and give me 3 more. No, like they're gonna interrupt the kill. Oh man, just a great start there for UGK Esports. Once again, the momentum wheels on the train are tugging down to 1 round difference. And if they keep this up, we already know UGK, they are no stranger to overtime.
And even though UGK loses to there, it was very smart they played that. They know there's only one alive. They know they
Right.
don't have to give up the sites. They don't have to chase. They just kind of sit back, wait for something to happen. But it was costly. It was a bit costly, as you see right now. Their economy was hit a little bit by it. Mostly their Omen lost some money, but also Leica had lost some money there. So this could play some part in the long run, but for now, UGK is in a pretty good spot because I think they do have an economy advantage and they should have the better weapons going into this round.
Yeah, the Blade Storm, you can consider it the better weapon if it hits, right? I talked about that earlier, a very hit or miss ultimate. So C16 taking a risk there, hopefully going to be able to aim a little bit better than those previous Blade Storms, but it looks like that's the only ultimate that's been commit so far. I'm curious if UGK is going to drop the bomb of the Empress
Oh,
here,
wait,
just
hold
in
on.
an attempt to tie things up.
Watch this. Seekers is gonna run right by Various. Are they gonna know? No, they did! Various
No,
looks away!
Various! Oh, you called that. You read that like a book, but Various unfortunately turned his shoulders at the
Turn the
worst
page.
possible time. Yeah, the page had been turned a little bit early, and Secrets made sure there were none left on the battlefield. C16 gonna commit one blade already, only 4 left available. Leica is gonna find Esperanto. The resurrection is available. Can come up here in just a moment. Surfsicles finds Leica. There's one, there's 2! C16 able to find a third. There's certainly no ace today as JoJo puts that jet in the ground, but UC Davis, the first team to hit double digits.
C16 just stood there, was like, I'm gonna take my time to line up these headshots completely. And one thing to remember about Bladestorm is that it does reset with every kill. So
Right.
every time you get one, you get a full new set of knives at your disposal. So there gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. Third one, more of a all-in instead of the headshot. But
Sure.
regardless, just stood there. No one was looking. They were all kind of set to one side and didn't realize, like, hey, we're just leaving an entire stairway open for the enemy to rotate behind us. And now you see Davis, like you said, double digits, 3 rounds for them. But UGK, they have been keeping it close here.
They certainly have, and we've got to talk about at the beginning. There was a 3-round difference. We're now at a 2-round difference. So it feels UGK, they are just constantly 10% below the bar here. UC Davis has snuck away with a couple of these rounds that had UGK played just a little bit safer, perhaps they could be in the lead right now. This is insanely close so far, and keep in mind, folks, this is the first of possibly 3 maps. A 1-to-1 trade coming through. Esperanto and Leica will fall early on. Lost and not far behind there. Smurfsicles does find the kill. UC Davis, they've got the lead again, but their jet already critical condition. If JoJo could pick up that kill, it would have helped. But now that Nick has found Secrets, it's going to be even harder for UGK to turn this one around.
But you can type jet diff in the game chat if you get this kill. So
Very
that
true.
might be the reward here. You can still do a lot of work with the Judge. I feel like its range is pretty ridiculous for a shotgun. I don't know if it's going to be enough to stop this, though, especially that turret being able to find you out. This might be just running away, and Nick might just die to the turret.
Oh!
Actually, no, just going to get the rotation on Squid.
Oh, Squid just got a little bit rolled there, unfortunately. JoJo finds one onto Nick, but C16 will get that jet diff kill in the chat there. So now, UC Davis, that very well could have been our penultimate round. UC Davis only 2 rounds away from taking... Oh, wait, no. This would be our penultimate round. UC Davis only 2 rounds away from taking the win here on Ascent.
We're going to see there is a tactical pause coming in, so in the meantime, we can talk about what we might see here. I mean, the good news for UGK is they've lost 2 rounds in a row, and we've talked about how, they've usually lost more than that, which has been 5 and 3. But their economy is reset, so they will have some guns to work with. The other thing is they have ultimates, so I really think they have to be aggressive with their ultimates.
Yes.
But the problem is, how can you be aggressive with these ones? The only one I could really see you using early on is the Blaze Storm, but you just want to save that for a rainy day, right? Because you don't want to use it on a round you can buy in general.
It looks like they aren't, though. Just from what we saw right before the tactical pause, she's only got the classic online right now.
It could be that maybe they're saving for an operator later on, but I mean,
True.
it's now or never. Basically, you've got this round and then possibly the next round. That's it. So that's a pretty big risk.
This round's difficult, right? Because if you lose this round, you do commit, you lose the round, then your economy's in shambles for the final one.
I mean, your economy is basically already in shambles because you're all inning right now. I mean, if they play this a bit safer, maybe they would go for like Spectres instead. But I mean, yeah, there you go. So they're all buying assault rifles. Their economy isn't going to be good no matter what. So this is a round they really have to win. So the question is, do you commit that Blaze Storm, or do you maybe hope that you can save it for a 5th round, which we have seen them do a few times. So it's not out of the question.
Yeah, this is going to be, I use this phrase a lot, but this truly is kind of a final hour scenario. If they lose this round, even committing a full buy like that, I don't want to say it guarantees them a loss in the next one, but it's certainly going to make it a lot easier to lose.
And it looks like they might be going for that aggressive rotation. We saw it back in the pistol round, but we haven't seen them push out since then. UGK, though, they are going all in. They have committed the Omen Teleport as well as Seekers.
Yeah, secrets there. That was, I mean, you gave away your location. You pre-fired. There wasn't great trigger discipline from UGK Esports, and now UC Davis, three of them just waiting for somebody to come around that corner.
It's really just this is like just a standoff right now. Who's gonna make the first move? There's three for UC Davis. There's three for UGK. Squid is holding back of A and trees. Their Omen is back on B. Everyone is all over the place right now except for these three players in each team. Nick has given up the spike, so I think Nick is going to be a sacrificial lamb here. Just
Nick's
going to
gonna
kind
be
of
the
run in,
hero.
yeah, make some noise, maybe get a 2 or 3K, which would be great for them. But everyone else, look, they have all rotated towards B now.
Even a 1-for-1 trade, like that kind of stinks, but as long as Nick goes in and finds even one, then arguably it's worth it. But if Nick goes in and just gets rolled, that's not going to be great for UC Davis. And unfortunately, the kill feed still not lighting up. Only 30 seconds left on the clock. Oh, there it is. JoJo will find one. Nick finds another loss. Going to be able to pick up Various right off the back with a wall bang kill. UGK, they've got the numbers advantage, but only by one. This is going to be a tough turnaround here. They've got to find one more to really guarantee themselves a comfortable lead in this engagement.
They've got to go now.
Oh,
and
no.
Secrets might be able to find them out.
Oh no, it turned at the worst time! Secret's gonna be taken out by Smurfsicles. That is so unfortunate. The second time we've seen that mistake happen on the side of UGK Esports. It is going to come down to the shoulders of Loss, but he might be caught out. Squid finds one. A 3v2 here in favor of UGK once again, but if Loss has his head taken off right around the corner, Squid with two! Be able to find another, but no, it's Esperanto. Picks up the kill on to Squid, 54 health, and a Dream, but Leica will find that kill, and the Dreams of UGK get to live another day.
We asked about using the Blade Storm. They used everything else besides that Blade Storm.
But
And it was worth it, though. It was absolutely worth it to be able to hold on to that ultimate as well as win the round. I thought there for a second UC Davis had clinched it out. That teleport from Nick was absolutely insane. Not only did they not get taken out of it, so they didn't go back to where they were still there in Boathouse. Play a distraction. Everyone else from UC Davis runs in, gets that first kill. But then the problem is that they're all in Boathouse.
Yep.
And a very smart play by Squid realizes, hey, I've got shock darts. That does AoE damage. I can just throw them in and see what happens. Gets two. I mean, you don't expect to get that much value out of them, but you do. You get the round win. And I mean, I don't want to jinx anything, but I feel like I've seen this scenario before, especially with UGK, where it ends up being overtime.
yeah, if I'm not mistaken, UGK and Striking Vipers went into overtime twice, right? I mean, it's if not, it was close. But either way, we've seen them in overtime before, and unfortunately, they got stuck in Boathouse. Things are going to get lined up, and JoJo trying to keep the dream alive here for UGK Esports. C16 immediately going to tie things back up, finding Squid early on. A 4v4 comes through. The only ultimate remaining other than that Blade Storm in play is the Hunter's Fury from UC Davis. We've yet to see a Hunter's Fury kill in this game. Leica finding Nick early on, a 4v3 in favor of UGK. This is going to be a great opportunity for them to also hit double digits and once again bring us to a one-round difference.
That's the difference between UGK so far and UC Davis is that UGK is not afraid to run back onto points. They even if they've given up on a little bit, they do not wait for the spike to be planted usually.
Oh! What a horrible time to spectate Esperanto. That was not great, but here we go. Lost is going to keep the dream alive at UGK. They punch a hole right through double digits there. 1-0 available. If they can do that just one more time, they're going to be able to tie things up for, I believe, the first time.
They will, and this is a very interesting decision from UC Davis. Will they try to buy, or will they just go for sheriffs? This is really pivotal, because if you try to go for a Frankenstein buy and it doesn't pay off, how much will you have left for the next round? I think basically what they're doing right now is they're looking at their economy, and they're saying, all right, as long as you have 3,900, you're golden.
Right.
You know, get whatever you want. As long as you can go for a full buy next round, you can just try to run what we have. And you can see that like some of them are getting sheriffs, some of them are getting bulldogs, but they still have enough left over. So I think that's kind of the play for them. I'm surprised they don't just go for a full safe round, because at this point, the game is super close. You want to buy abilities. Abilities are really important, as you and I have talked to death in our last two cast. Abilities are a bit more expensive now.
Yes.
And guns are a little bit cheaper. So it's really important to make sure that you've got a fully stocked kit going into what could be the last round. At this point, there is still a tie scenario where it's 12-12 after the next 3 rounds. Could also be that UGK just takes the next 3 in a row, especially if you go for this Frankenstein buy, you lose the next one, and then it's game over.
Right, absolutely. And, you know, I've cast probably somewhere between, like, 400 or 500 maps of Valorant. This is the first time I've seen a timeout actually used, like, ever. I've never seen that before. Like, I knew it was in the game, but I've never seen a team actually do it.
And I've seen it twice.
That's the first time. That's the first time it's ever happened. That was interesting. I completely forgot about the ability till the words popped up on screen, and I was like, oh, you can totally do that. But yeah, like you said, abilities the game has been changed. Guns cost different, abilities cost different, and Astra recently nerfed into the absolute ground that we're probably not going to be seeing her in gameplay anytime today. So I'd be surprised if we did, but this is going to be UC Davis's. Like you said, if these teams both hit 11, or excuse me, they both hit 12, that guarantees overtime no matter what, because you have to win by 2.
Really want UC Davis to use this Hunter's Fury. They've been holding on to it what feels like forever.
I mean, it's got to be close to 10 rounds. They've had it for a long time.
Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure what Varys is looking for in this setup. You could just use it as entry, just to create space as a zoning ultimate. You could use it to try to actually mark some people up. I think that's what they were trying to get with the Owl Drone there. Maybe try to mark someone and then use it. I mean, at this point, you're getting down to the wire here, and you've been holding on to it for what feels like an eternity.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways. I think at this point, just go with it. I think even just use it as a distraction, honestly. Like, use it on the point that the rest of your team isn't, so they can run in and take the other one.
Oh, that actually, I like the way you think.
Big brain, huh?
I really do. That's pretty big brain, man. Commit Hunter's Fury to the wrong point and just bring your entire team to the other one. I'm a big fan of that ideal, but Lost is going to get rid of Esperanto early on. The Hunter's Fury even more likely to come out now as UC Davis has to win a 4v5, where they're going to have to risk a tie, possibly even a loss, their first map loss of the season. That would stink to lose a map this close to the end of the normal season.
It would. It's kind of important going into this one.
Yeah, it absolutely is. But Squid will fall. The 2-for-2 trade coming alive there. Nick, C16, and Lost Blaz are also gone. Leica finds Various. A 3v1 here. Smurfsicle's going to have to do the impossible. We have seen 3Ks from this Killjoy before, but we're going to need one right now. You cannot walk into the firing squad like that, my friend. UGK, for the first time in the matchup so far, going to be able to tie things up 11-11.
I mean, technically, if you think about the beginning, it's 0-0, right?
Oh, hush you. Oh, hush. 0-0 hardly counts.
But the reason I was saying this round is so important, this game is so important, is because even if they are virtually locked into first, because they do have the head-to-head over O2, actually, I'm wondering now, this actually could be a possibility where I think UC Davis falls. Well, I'm not sure, actually. Maybe, I think O2, I'm not sure how that would all settle out, but there is a scenario maybe where UC Davis actually can fall to second or third. They're all locked in no matter what, but that placement is super important because it determines who your first opponent is, and I mean, you haven't seen people from the other group all season, so you never know. Maybe a team that's done really well on the other side will do even better against people from the Phantom Division.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of unknowns right now, but one thing we do know is that Secrets just ripped Nick to shreds there and immediately taken off. There's the Empress coming out. That's going to be quite the bold move, but Secrets already finding Smurfskull, so all of it worth it at the end of the day. UGK, they are 3 kills short. Oh, Secrets out of the Empress, though. That is going to be very unfortunate. 4v3 here in favor of UGK. A minute left on the clock. The Spike still in play. A Blade Storm and Hunter's Fury at the ready. UC Davis, I don't want to call this a now or never moment. They don't lose if they lose this round, but if UGK takes the lead, I mean, that's going to be harsh.
I mean, you're taking the lead at the final hour. Also, forcing a potential overtime scenario as your only win condition is never really the way you want to play this game. We saw UGK, last time they went to overtime, they did lose, so maybe that's an advantage if you are UC Davis, but you don't even want to think about that scenario. You just want to get the win here, and then you go up to match point.
Yeah, oh, JoJo with the shorty. That's definitely a favorite weapon coming out from JoJo there. But, I mean, UC Davis is the same team we saw. Oh, my goodness. Okay, forget everything I was about to say. That round, I didn't even get my thought out, but that round coming to a close. Now, UGK, they've got a Hunter's Fury. That's how long that they've been holding on to it on the side of UC Davis. I'm pretty sure that is UGK's second one in the time that UC Davis has not let go of one.
I was gonna say, it might be their third at this rate.
It might be.
They've been racking them up, and they've been using them pretty quickly, and Squid has been using them in very smart ways, even if they aren't the leading KDA on their team. Yeah, and again, another timeout is coming through. So that's the third we've now seen here today. Wow. So a lot of things to consider. The one thing for UC Davis is, again, it's a Frankenstein buy because they committed fully to the last one because they did spend again on the round before that. So now they are forcing the scenario again, which is why I was like, don't pick the Bulldog. Just go with the full Sheriff buy. It's whatever. You'll lose that round. Then you'll be okay for the next 2 ones. You're okay-ish still now, what you got here, but it's not great. The one thing you do have, though, is ultimates. Please Storm, Hunter's Fury, if you ever decide to use it, in the lockdown. The problem is that we've already seen that Squid is fine of committing his Hunter's Fury to just destroy the lockdown. So that ultimate might just be a counter to get rid of Squid's ultimate, which is okay for a lockdown because it's, very hit or miss. Either you get people or you don't. Shouldn't you have used it
last time? Last time there was a lockdown, like 8 rounds ago.
I mean, you're just getting them back so quickly. You can use it for one, and then you get it back for the next one. Is kind of how it feels like it's playing out. Regardless, it is an all-bank advantage for UC Davis. How will they use it? we saw UGK, we asked how they would do it in a similar fashion. They used to, and it was what got their momentum here. And they've 4 rounds in a row, Simplets. Started off with the Seekers and the Omen Teleport, and look how far they've come.
Yeah, honestly, the Seekers and the Teleport made a world of difference, and they have not dropped the ball yet. Honestly, it's really going to come down to which team loses somebody first. That's going to be what it is. The 5v4 engagement, especially if UC Davis loses that Sova or that Killjoy, that could flip this entire round on its head.
It could, and we've seen how impactful the Killjoy has been thus far. This is a really early lockdown, so very interesting.
Did you see JoJo was just out of the radius? Like a foot out of the radius.
But you know what I said about Hunter's Fury, about how they should use it on a point where they're not really at? Look at what's going on right now at B.
Please, tell me it's gonna happen. Secrets, what happened? What was that? Why did Secrets just stare into the abyss?
I think they thought they got the kill. I think they thought they finished the kill off, and then they just stopped shooting, tried to run away, tried to get the orb, but there was no orb.
Oh my goodness, that's a disaster. I said it was so crucial, whichever team loses somebody first, and it's going to be UGK. If UC Davis takes this one, that is an overtime.
Could be indeed. I think you saw that the JoJo was looking behind, and now they might have turned their head just the wrong moment.
Squid not going to be able to find a darn thing. Various instead picks up UGK's JoJo. That is going to be a 4v2. Smurf finds Leica, and now it is Squid versus the world. We are going to need everything but an ace from Squid here. Oh, 2 of them critical condition. Oh, worst time to fire the dart, and Squid will fall. That is a guaranteed halftime, or not halftime, overtime, the exact opposite. But UGK, if they take this, that could demolish the mental of UC Davis.
Let's quickly go over those overtime rules that we so love. It is a 1st to 2 at this point, so it doesn't really matter what the rest of the score is. You keep switching back between attack and defense. You start off with half of your ult orbs, I believe, so you're already off to a pretty good start there. Yeah, they were looking at right now as Varius's. And your economy resets every time no matter what. So exit kills mean absolutely nothing at this point. It's kind of like a whole new ball game, basically. And I think I might have jinxed it here, Septimus, because I remember I said, I think at, what was it, like 8 to 10? I was like, oh, this looks like overtime scenario, and here we are now.
Here we are all this time later, staring overtime in the face, and this is, I mean, UGK, they love it here. They love to put on a show. And honestly, as a caster, that's all I can ask for, is that these players, they just give us an absolute show. And to think that UGK has even brought it this close, the point I was going to say earlier, if I'm not mistaken, UC Davis is the team that we watched, what was it, 13-2 somebody? I mean, this was the team that at the beginning of the season was the powerhouse of powerhouses. And now, UGK has brought them down to the wire.
They still really are the powerhouse of powerhouses. They are the team to beat. So if UGK is able to pull this off, then they become the team to beat.
Oh, Smurf gonna find JoJo early on. UC Davis with an early lead here. The Jet offline. The Spike's still alive. Smurf will be traded out here by Leica. Their Various will find 1, might find 2 if they're lucky. Aims a little too high and lost. Puts a bullet right in their dome. Both Sovas now offline. Excuse me, no. UGK still has their Sova online. A 3v3. Spike is available. It looks like we're going to be fighting on B as Esperanto will pick up Squid. The Sova falls. A 1-for-1 trade once again. Secrets takes out Esperanto. This is absolutely anybody's game. All players almost full health.
Paint Cans was OP. Fragment is so much more OP, honestly, as an ability, but look, I mean, here's the thing, is that Secrets, like, going for the flank right now, but Sentry, as the only person who is on the point for their team, is down. This is really difficult for them. I mean, they do have an ability, so they could try to Wraith away after they get maybe 1 kill, but I don't know if they can win this 2v1. And C16 is weak.
I was going to say, you get C16 down on 1v1's winnable, but you've also got to catch 0 bullets from C16. Turns the corner, and C16 is the very reason that UC Davis will win that round. What is that, 30 health? 1 missed bullet there. Could have sealed the deal for UGK, but now, UC Davis, they are 5 eliminations away from securing themselves a very close victory on Ascent.
And that's why you can't take the duel of Nick, because even though you get the kill, C16 is the one you really want, because they're so weak. You fire 1 shot, they're dead. Then you go for the spray transfer onto Nick, but instead you start with the full health target. And like we said, exit frags mean nothing. Economy is completely reset anyway. Alt economy as well. Everything goes back to 0. But the only thing that isn't at 0 right now is UC Davis, because they just got the first out of 2 rounds that they need to win. They win this one here on attack, this map is over.
The Underground Kings may be forced into the Underground once again here as UC Davis, like you said, all they do, they win this one, and all that hard work down the drain. We will go for a brand new map after this one, no matter who wins. But to see UGK take a map off UC Davis would be quite the sight to behold.
Yeah, and here's the thing, though, is that when they won against Striking Vipers, they did actually lose the map that went to overtime. and
No, Squid.
it's looking like it might be like this for this one too.
Oh man, that was Squid. That's the third time we've seen him fire a dart and just take a bullet to the face. That is, talk about unfortunate. That's a pattern. That is a habit that needs broken very soon there if UGK wants to take these final round wins. But we've seen people come back from 4v5s before. I'm not going to write them off quite yet, but one more elim in favor of UC Davis, and this might be all but over.
They've got complete point control. They have a numbers advantage. They have all of the Killjoy abilities on point. They're going to have the Owl Drone looking up into heaven, finding out at least 1, 2, 3 there, so they know exactly where the defenders are.
Yeah, they know 3 of them are up there. Might just spray into heaven and pray, but Esperanto finds his loss. C16 picks up secrets. It is Leica in a dream, but a 14-12 flawless victory for UC Davis coming through here in overtime. That is going to keep their map win alive. Certainly the closest they've ever come to losing one.
That had to be the closest. I mean, their comeback there to tie it up 12-12 was incredible. That was a round they needed to win. And then it seemed like after they had won that round, the next two just kind of fell into their hands, especially that last one. It was flawless. It was so well executed. You saw that UGK, they tried to go for that aggressive defensive kind of flank that they had done before, but they didn't fully commit to it. They were kind of half in, half out, kind of like you're jumping into a cold pool. You're just kind of putting your leg in, but you don't want to go in because you don't want your stomach to freeze. That's what they did there. And instead, the entire team froze up. UGK were not able to take that first map away from UC Davis here in the UPL summer split.
They unfortunately were not, but luckily for them, we've got at least one more map left online. If I'm not mistaken, the next map is Haven. I'm pretty sure on that. Yeah, all right, we're gonna find out together. It's
Bind.
Bind. Dang it, I did it
This
twice.
is twice now, yeah.
Did it twice. It's Bind, and then it's Haven. So I really do hope we go to map 3 because I would like to see Haven, but we might be throwing to a short break between games. I'm not. Yeah, okay, we certainly are. So, folks, use this time here. Fill up your water bottles. Go use the restroom. Go learn what maps we're playing because that's what I'm gonna do. So we'll see you folks in just a couple of minutes. Don't go far. We've got hopefully just as much intense Valorant action for you in just a couple of minutes. We'll see you then.